Hey guys, just showing you what exactly I'm doing here in StatCrunch for each of our practice problems. So I went ahead and entered the data, that blood pressure reduction data here already. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and retitle these. So this was medication, then we had exercise, then we had diet, right? So I'll make it a little bit easier. So you notice I entered in the 5 pieces of data in those columns. Okay, once I have that, then I'll go up to Stat, down about right there, Anova One Way, and here I am. All I've got to do is select the 3 columns like that. I'm holding Control in order to do those things, and there we go. Hit Compute, and we've got everything right here. So you notice a whole bunch of data, but down here is really what we want. There's our F-stat, 2.90, and right next to it your p-value. Now as you look around, you start to see some familiar things also, right? We've got the mean. It goes ahead and does the mean for each of our columns, the number of samples for each. It does the standard deviation for each one, and it even does a standard error. Okay, it's kind of cool. Down here, this is where we see the MS and the SS. Okay, so there's our MS. We've got these 2 numbers. So the first one is your MS between, the mean square between. The one below that is your mean square within. So if you take 18.2 and divide it by 6.26667, if you divide these numbers just as they are, then you'll get the F-stat right there. MS between divided by MS within will give you that F-stat. A little bit further to the left, you see the SS between, 36.4, and SS within, 75.2. If you divide these the way they're supposed to, 36.4, if you remember in the lecture, you divide that by K minus 1. K is the number of groups. Here we've got 3 groups, so you would divide this by 2, and that would give you MS between. SS, 75.2, the SS within, you divide that by capital N minus K. Capital N is the total number of samples. So here for us that would be 15, since we had 3 groups of 5. The total number of samples minus the total number of groups, which is actually the number you see just to the left. The number of groups is 3, so we'd have 15 minus 3 gives you the 12. So if you take 75.2, divide it by 12, that's where the 6.26667 comes from. So we do see these things produced, although we don't have the formulas to get the SS because they're pretty complicated. At least they do appear here if you're interested. And then obviously StatCrunch just goes ahead and provides us the p-value as well. So we can just get right to that. If you wanted to do that p-value yourself, if you're curious, I know I'm going way further than what we need to answer our question, right? We got the F-stat, we got the p-value. If you wanted to kind of investigate that p-value, there is a calculator for it. Calculators, there is an F calculator, and you could put it in. You could put in your F-stat there, the number of degrees freedom, or excuse me, the numerator degrees freedom and the denominator degrees freedom. Those are the K minus 1 and the N minus K, the 2 and the 12. We're going to use a greater than 2.90, hit compute, and there's that p-value, or at least, well, it's just a tiny bit different than what we see there. Wonder what that's all about. Well, I guess because this is rounded, so I rounded that. But okay, there you go, 0.0939, because I rounded the p-value to 2.90. But there you go. There's kind of the showing you way more than what you need. Obviously, here's where you get your F-stat, your F-test statistic, and your p-value. Okay, cool. Let's do this again, but for the data for practice problem 2. So I'm just gonna pull this up here. Okay, we're gonna get rid of this. This is gonna be Space Mountain. 50, 25, 75, 35, 50. Small world, try not to mix those up. 10, 5, oh, 10, 5, 5, 10, and 10. Then we had Indiana Jones, gotta love Indiana Jones. 50, 80, 45, and 45 for that sample. And finally, Big Thunder, Mountain Railroad, 35, 40, 20, 50, and 65. Okay. Again, same thing, go to Stat ANOVA One Way. Make sure to select all 4 of those. Compute, and there you go. Get all that data there, get your mean squares, get your sum of squares, but of course what we want is that fstat 9.97 when you round, and the p-value 0.0006. There you are. Okay. That's it.